Uh, welcome to the Hancock Park Market update of December 8th, 2020. And we're going to start today by looking at the active in the area. Some things that I noted, I've got it pulled up here. There are 84 listings currently. That is down about 17 from the high about a month ago, and approximately 20%. So we're down approximately 20% from what was an all-time high of about 50% more than normal. So we're still high, but at 84 listings. And just for fun, I thought I'd look down here south of Olympic to see how many there are, because I don't know. South of Olympic is not really the Hancock Park that we're talking about generally. You can beg to differ, and I totally agree. I mean, there are beautiful houses there, but there are like 8 or 9. So if you were to go north of Olympic, we really only have about 75 currently for sale. Let's go to the escrows. Currently 42. So that is also down from, I think last week we were at about 47. Down 5, which is approximately 10%. So down 20% week on week. I'm sorry, down 20% from the high on listings and down 10% from last week on escrows. Let's look at the number of sales. This number I want to see high. Okay, 7 listings, so 1 per day, with a couple of three over 2 million and 1 at 4.6 million. So let's take a look at this grouping here. Starting from the highest to the lowest, all closed in the last 7 days. .530 South Rossmore with Lisa Hutchins. This was this is right near the corner of 6th and Rossmore, right next to that big one that used to be owned by Nicolas Cage and was built and was recently sold for, I believe, somewhere in the 7s or the 8s. This is right next door to that, has a huge lot, and they bought it about 6 or 7 years ago for about 2.6 million, and then fixed it up. It was in bad shape at that time, and it's now they've just sold it for 4.6. So that's a tidy profit. It's a really, really big yard. I'm sorry to give you the details. 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 4,350 square feet on, I would guess, like a 25,000 square foot lot. I'll check here in a minute. Looks like the floors need to be redone. The wood floors. I remember the story of this sale was that they, it was considered a little bit on the high end price-wise, but it still sold rather quickly. And it seems like that has been my experience as well. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but things are selling sometimes 10% more than expected, but that's only if it's a really good property. This is 25,000 square foot lot, to fill in what I was saying before. So they got over $1,000 a square foot on Rossmore. Anybody see this house? Somebody must have. She had it rented out for 6 months before that to Jackie Smith, after Jackie sold her house. Okay, 621 South Mansfield, 5 bedrooms, 7 baths, 4,000 square foot. This is a big one. A new one, 2012, in Hancock Park adjacent for 2.8 million. So a newish house for 2.8 million. That's a pretty darn good price in Hancock Park adjacent. That's under $700 a square foot, $67.54. I don't think you can build a house now new for 4,000 square feet. And if you could, it would be worth a lot more than 2.8 million. This was listed and sold by June on So maybe it needed some work. Is June with us? Good job selling it. 339 North Highland. Is this the, yes, LA Times Home of the Week, listed by Joseph Silic, Joe and Bruno, who do a lot in West Hollywood. 4 beds, 4 baths, 3,300 square feet on Highland, 2,140,000. It seems like we've broached the 2 million mark on Highland almost every time recently. So that's an interesting factoid. And this was the home of the week for the LA Times, so it was very special. It sold relatively quickly. And the reason why it was the home of the week was because both the owners were associated with the Getty Museum, I think, in some way. I think they might have been curators or historians or something. That makes this house historic. Okay. A26 South Citrus, again in Hancock Park adjacent, 4 beds, 2 baths, 1,900 square feet with a 7,500 square foot lot, decently good sized lot, $942 a square foot. They got 1.8 million Sherry bean stock. 1.8 million is a common price in that neighborhood, and this looks like it was redone. 1,900 square feet, so over $900 a square foot. There's the backyard, back patio. Seems really nice. All right, next, 1121 South Wilton. This is really kind of out of our area. 757 South Bronson, south of Wilshire, off of Crenshaw in the Wilshire Vista or Wilshire Park area. 757 Bronson, listed by Lorna and Tracy. Tracy's a neighbor of mine. 4 beds, 3 baths, 3,000 square feet, $1,575,000. This is a neighborhood where you can get properties for about $1 million. This one looks like it's in tip-top shape. So it got more at 1.5. Screening room, new kitchen. Okay, that's Bronson. Then we have one more at 222 North Windsor. Oh, I'm a little familiar with this one. This one I sold. We just closed yesterday or the day before with really nice agent Joe and Bryant Joe Reichling. 222 North Windsor, Spanish, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,714 square feet. That's $1,688,911.16. You ask why? What a weird price. Well, it's because the credit for repairs was so big that the bank wouldn't allow the entire amount, so they had to take some of it off of the price. Okay, very good. On that one here, we got $985 a square foot, which was a really great number. 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,700 square feet. You know, this thing, anybody who walked into this house before we redid it would have said maximum $800 a square foot. Some people were saying it was a tear down. It hadn't been redone or anything since the 60s. It was all the old carpeting. It just did not look good. We had a floor guy, a painter come in, just those 2 things and a couple of details for, I think the total with staging was a total of $29,000, and they made probably $250,000 more because of that little activity. So a huge payoff for their efforts, which it took them a couple of months to do it. Any comments on that? Anybody see that one? We did another house for another client, same thing. It was about $30,000. That's how much it seems to cost bare bones to do a redo the floors and the paint on a house and stage it. In case you're wondering. Okay, let's go to the just listed ones and see the last 7 days. Ten new listings in the last 7 days. That's a big number, pretty big number. Week and a half. I'm sorry, two every 3 days, roughly. 3 million. So we'll start with the highest first. These are all the new listings. 232 North Plymouth, 5 beds, 6 baths, 4,500 square feet on a 7,200 square foot lot for almost $4 million. That's $874 a square foot. This is located in the sort of upper Windsor Square, south of Beverly, but north of First, so the lots are smaller. This one's 7,200 square feet, listed by Diana Knox. Nice street, beautiful looking house. Just under $4 million, which is a very big number for a 7,200 square foot lot. But the house is really big at 4,500. If you just look at the square footage of the house, then it seems like a bargain. But I think you have to be okay with not having a big yard. Well, wow, look at that foyer. Look at that. And it might take a special kind of buyer for this design. Wow, that'll be an interesting to watch. That's almost $4 million north of First. Some houses south of First aren't worth $4 million, so that's a big number with that kind of lot. Good luck, Diana. 172 South McCadden for $3.8 million, listed by Ari Afshar of Compass. 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, 4,700 square foot, so pretty darn big. 3.8 million. That's a 10,900 square foot lot, almost $800 a square foot. First time on the market in almost 50 years. With this kind of square footage, if you're getting $1,000 a square foot remodeled, then you could conceivably be getting $4,778,000 for something that right now you could buy for $1 million less. The question is, how expensive would it be to fix up the house to get $1,000 a square foot? It looks pretty clean. Okay, next one. Anybody feel free to jump in for any reason. 571 North Cahuenga, which is in the Little Hancock Park area east of the golf course, east and north. 4 beds, 4 baths, 3,000 square feet. That's a big lot, 10,799. I think that's bigger than normal. $3,099, which is over $1,000 a square foot. Lisa Hutchins is the listing agent. Congratulations. And that is a darn big lot with a 3,000 square foot house. So that's at $3.1 million in Little Hancock Park. That's quite a big number for what looks like a house that might need some work. Staging would have benefited it a lot at that price. I'm sure she suggested it. Okay, this is the upstairs back house unit. Pretty substantial property. Let's see if we're getting that kind of price. 3.1 million. That would be a big number. That's how much per square foot? 1,033. 751 South Windsor. This is in Brookside. 7 beds, 7 baths, almost 4,000 square feet with an 8,900 lot. That's $2.2 million. $553 a square foot, listed by Elijah Shin. Seems to be doing well down there. A lot of listings from him. $2.2 million. This is the attic that they've built out. So it's probably I wonder if that's part of the square footage, probably, because there's not that many 4,000 square foot houses there. Okay. A lot of photos. $2.2 million. Seems very nice. I wonder what that is. Is that a big apartment building next door? This neighborhood right around there tends to get that. So
yes, Eric, it is an apartment building next door. I drive in front of this house every day. It's
okay, so that's a pretty big
where I
negative.
live.
Yeah, is also like, is it the only house? Everything else is an apartment building, or?
No, the house next door is being renovated also. There's a few houses, but several apartment buildings. It's from 8 to Wilshire.
You know what? I think I remember this house. Wasn't this on the market for 145 last year? They must have bought. This is the flip, I guess.
Yeah, they just repainted it. They did quite a bit of work to it in the last 6 months.
Okay, waiting on the computer here. Okay. Thank you, Janine.
Pleasure.
Next, we have 1163 South Muirfield, which is south of Olympic. I think it's east of, well, it's just literally south of the of LA High School. So it's literally dominated by that big property right north of it. 1163 for 1649. That's a pretty big number for a 2,200 square foot house. So good look, but that's generally not our area. 658 Sycamore, one street off of La Brea. And I think this area north of Wilshire is very commercial right there on Sycamore. So on the other side of the street, you're going to be looking at parking lots or fences with parking lots. 3 beds, 4 baths, 2,400 square feet, 1,620,000. Relatively small lot, $671 a square foot. 1,620,000 by Mark Mayer Nemetsky. I guess because of the, I think we talked about this one time, because of the location, it's a little quieter. You would expect, because of commercial, that it would be louder, but it's not. One story, small yard, 1,600,000. 1,600,000, and if you think about it, you can just walk out down to Wilshire and over, and you're at Wilshire and La Brea. That's a pretty big. That's pretty cool to be able to be at that kind of location right down the street from your house. It looks like it's relatively quiet. I mean, for where it is down the block. 5930 Clinton Street. This is a condo or townhouse. No, this is the whole house. Built in 2020. Architectural triumph. This is located just south of Melrose on Clinton. So I'm thinking this is, where is this? Okay, so this is Hancock Park adjacent, almost at Melrose. Just built. 3 beds, 3 baths, 2,100 square feet. I'm guessing that must mean that it's half of the property. the Sycamores. So there's two. There's at least two. 1,525,000 for one unit. It's an 1,800 square foot unit, $704 a square foot. And this is over in Hancock Park, almost at Melrose, brand new. Wow, that's quite a subdivision there. So there are 4 units there, 1, 2, 3, 4, each for 1.5. So that person probably bought the lot for, who knows, $1 million, $1.5 million, and he's now going to sell for, if they all sell for that price, $6 million after construction. It's hard to imagine those would have cost more than 600 each to build. 600 times 4, 2.4 plus the price would be $4 million. So they could make $2 million off of the project. $339 North Irving Boulevard. This is in Larchmont Village. 3 beds, 3 baths, 1,618 square feet. Remember, we're still on the just listed this week listings. It's a small lot, under 5,000 square feet, $1 million. That's 923 a foot. So 11 square foot. Pete Bonacore is the agent. Again, Larchmont Village. 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,600 square feet. Not a huge house. $1.5 million. Generally, $1.3 million is the low end, so $1.5 million is still bottom of the price range. Small lot, you can see there, 49.97 square foot lot. It looks like they've got a little guest house. I've seen, I don't know about you guys, but it seems like Pete is doing a lot of business lately. 926 South Lucerne. That's listed Joe Reichling and Sarah Reichling. We just closed a deal with them. 926 South Lucerne, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,680 square feet, $831 a square foot. That's $6,000, 6,000 square foot lot. So not a huge lot. This is west of Crenshaw, north of Olympic. Yeah.
It's Terry. Yeah, that was the Loveland Carr house that they sold 2 years ago when the owners who wanted it for an Airbnb, and they realized they couldn't, the laws were changing. They sold it. Reichling represented this buyer. They live across the street from me. And
Who does?
This house is across the street from my house.
Okay.
And what I don't realize, I think it was kind of a running out of the neighborhood because I didn't see him do any work. He's only been there a little under 2 years. And he's increased the price by $200,000. That was the kind of the way it was when Loveland Carr sold it.
In this condition?
Yeah, it was in really good condition.
Well, if this is in a good location, let's see, Olympic.
It'll be a record for that.
A decent location. There's a lot of traffic right there, right?
Oh, yeah. That'll be a record if that sells. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm just telling you.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. 1,397, though, is not that scary of a price, even though it's a small house.
Yeah.
138 North Manhattan Place, kind of out of our area, and that is that for our listings that are new on market. So let's take a look now at the ones that have recently gone under contract in the last 7 days. So not that much. So we have 3 listings. I'm just looking at this because it's not right. It says pending 432 South Lucerne. This is my listing. And hey, it's the highest of the week. Yay! 3 beds, 4 baths, 3439 square feet with a 14,380 square foot lot. Listed at 1,132 square foot. So that is dollars a square foot. That is a very large number. People really loved it. We had 3 offers and went right into escrow. It's already under inspection. The thing that I was hesitating on is I noticed that it's showing pending. Well, they haven't removed contingencies, so it should not be showing pending. But that was a beautiful house and a beautiful sale. Hopefully closes. It's with a local realtor that you all know. Okay, next, 128 North Ridgewood Place. So again, only 3 changes this week in the escrow world, even though we've got 46 or 43 escrows. 128 North Ridgewood Place, listed by Allie Jack. 4 beds, 4 baths. I think she's teamed up there with Bryant Reichling as well on that. 2,788 square feet, small lot, 5,600, $2.2 million, already in escrow. I think it's only been, I thought it was less than 50, but it looks like 55 days. 525 North Mansfield, that's in Hancock Park adjacent, 2-bed, itty bitty 2-bed, 1 bath, 1,168 square footer. That one wasn't on the market for very long, 19 days, but at $1.2 million, almost anything flies off the shelf at that price. Plus, it was in a really good location, right in the middle of the block. 4,800 square foot lot, $1,000, over $1,000 a square foot. So that's anything small is going to sell fast. It looks like that was Rick Llanos. Congratulations. So those are the 3 that we've had happen in the last week. Is there anything anybody wants to discuss? Just as a roundup, I guess, of what we've seen. We've seen a drop over the last 30 days, about 20% in active listings. We've seen a drop in active or properties in escrow of about 10% over just the last week. And we've seen 7 sales happen, and we've seen only so what we're seeing is a drop in the activity and maybe in just the actual number of listings. And I would say, let me ask a question. Anybody want to chime in here? If you go into December, how much do you think the inventory should shrink in December? I mean, we know that there are people who are going to pull their properties off the market during that time. Would it be fair to say 10 or 20% it should shrink? I think it would be fair to say 20%, 10 or 20%. It would shrink in the month of December just by virtue of it being December and people not wanting to be on the market at that time. And we're at 20% less than we were last month. So it makes sense to me that we would have 84 listings now, when in the last 6 months or more we've had in the 90s and even over 100. So we have a little bit of a slowdown as far as activity, new listings. But I will say that in the last 30 days, I've had 2 listings. One went with 12 offers in the first week, and the other went with 3 offers in the first week, both at high range, high end of the price range, over $1,000 a square foot, and both of them sold quickly with so much interest. So I feel like what we have is a very hot seller's market. Anybody want to chime in?
Well, it sounds like it.
Congratulations, Eric. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Yeah, congratulations, Eric.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any comments on what you're seeing out there in your own businesses?
The high end, not high end, but leases, say even in Beverly Hills, that are around $6,000 a month or so, have been on the market for a very long time. They're holding out to get people with really good credit scores, but we're talking like 9 months, some of them, amazing.
I have a question, Cecile. Does anyone people's feelings on rentals of apartments, condos? Not the smaller ones. Let's say the 3 bedrooms. $3,000 to $5,000 or something like that. Either rentals, condos, apartments, or houses. Anybody have any input on that? Any thoughts? What's happening?
Only that, Cecile, that there are many in especially the Beverly Hills area that I've been showing that they have been empty for a very long time.
What price range?
6,400 type price range.
Yeah.
And then they have had applications, but they didn't have good enough credit scores, so they're afraid of leasing them.
Is that houses or apartments, condos?
Apartments.
Apartments, yeah.
Well, they were. Some of them have been. A whole block was for sale, and then they've just pulled them, and now they're going to lease them. But yeah, Beverly Hills condo apartments or whatever for lease, they are not going as quickly as they were last year. That's for sure.
Not going as quickly. Okay. Okay, because I have my 1515 Beverly Drive, and I'm just getting no activity on it, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. 3,700. I mean, it's very nice, and I'm not getting activity.
I think there's a lot of the same.
A lot of the same. Yeah. Okay.
Cecile, it's Terry.
Hi, Terry.
I think.
Happy birthday, Terry.
Oh, sweetheart, thank you. Thank you. My client is terrified of, getting somebody that is not going to be able to pay the rent down the road. And I think most of them are running scared in that way. And she's only charging, I had her drop the price from $2,900 to $26,000. And we get calls, but she has so many. I mean, she's really given me a list of things to say no to, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
I've only had about 2 showings.
Interesting.
But I know that's what it is. She says, I get them in there, and how do I get them out if things keep getting worse?
Yeah.
So take it for what it's worth.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. That is good. And that's what happened. She had that's what happened with the tenant she had. Well, all of a sudden they said they can't pay, and they're paying like half, and a lot of problems,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my impression is that that market is the apartment building market is not a great market right now.
No, right. You got that right.
I think it's hard. You've got a lot. You've got a lot of pricing where it needs to go lower, and people are going higher, and you have legitimate concerns on the part of the buying public. You've got issues with tenants. Even if they have been paying up until now they're at the breaking point. So you don't know what the next 6 months are going to look like. I have one client who had a tenant who paid for the first 5 or 6 months, and we were like, "Oh, great, no worries, everything's fine." Since COVID started, all of a sudden he gets a letter, "Oh, we're not paying anymore." Not because we can't, but because we are going to just take advantage of the rules that are in place by the city of LA that don't require us to pay you money. And they got a letter like that. It's just scary for land.
Oh my goodness.
It's just scary for buyers. So I think that is, indicative of what you're talking about, which is that there's no interest on the rental side.
And I
The landlord is very, very strict.
Scared. I hate to say it, but we should be scared. We have to face that fact. I try to be very flexible and loving, and I've had these people for a long time, And so I just play it out, and, I don't argue with them or anything.
Another recommendation is that through the Apartment Owners Association, they recommend for any landlord that gets an application to request 6 months proof of paying of rent from just the last 6 months, which you are allowed to ask for, that they have been paying their rent.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, because if they decide they don't want to pay, it's not just if they can pay, they just decide they don't want to pay, or they lose their job and they lose their job,
That's true. It's very true. But they are saying, the Apartment Owners Association is saying that it at least aids that if they had the integrity to pay for the last 6 months, they might have the integrity to pay going forward.
Oh, that's interesting. It's a good point. The last 6 months, that's a very good point. Oh, so you have them proof that they paid the last 6 months then?
Yeah, they can get copies of their paid checks from their bank account.
That's a very good point. That is a very good point. Yeah. That is very good. Thank you.
There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees in this market with real apartments. I can promise you that right now. And I can tell you that the Board of Supervisors and the City Council are totally against housing providers. They're not giving them any aid, and basically giving them that blanket statement of that letter saying, you know what, if you don't want to pay, don't pay. And supposedly the eviction moratorium is expiring on January 31st, but all of us think that it's going to be extended, especially with the spikes of the COVID.
For sure. And any excuse they'll use to extend it.
What's it going to look like next year? Are we going to have, in order to get into a place, we have to show that we were vaccinated? Suddenly the vaccine card or proof of vaccination will be the ID that gets us into places?
Eric?
It'll be interesting with, yeah.
I think, you know what? Everybody's getting it. So you would be surprised how many people have antibodies. I mean, it's more and more and more. And I hate to say it, but that's the good news. Those who are okay, it's so widespread with people with antibodies now. So I think between that and the herd immunity, and the vaccination, I think in a year from now, we're going to be okay. I just can't imagine not. It's so widespread.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to be the downer here, but my daughter's an animal science major, a senior up at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and she said, I don't know why everybody's so excited about the vaccine, because you can get it again.
You know what? It's not true. It's not true, because I'll tell you why. My granddaughter, they're in New York, and the schools, maybe here too, they test them every single week. So she came back with a positive antibody that showed that she had COVID, which she already had before. And so she came home, and I don't know where, she said, so I'm 1 in 1 million, because they say it's 1 in 1 million that you can get it a second time. Anyway, she went and checked on the internet, did some research, and she came back. She says, no, it's 1 in 5 million you get a second time. Anyway, they called their doctor. The doctor said you have to go through so much red tape and bureaucracy, but at the end, he said she did not have it again. It was a false positive, and there are a lot of false positives. And apparently, I don't know if they proved it at 100%, but 99%, you cannot get it a second time.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have veered wildly off course.
Yeah,
And, I don't know that we'll ever be able to go back on the rails here, but let's just call it a day. I appreciate you all for being here, and I hope you guys have a great week.
Thank you, Eric. You did a great job.
Thank you, Eric. You did a great job.
Your help and your input, Janine and Shar and everybody.
Thank you.
All of you guys. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
A good day, everybody. Everybody, great day. And Terry, happy birthday again.
I love you. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
We love
Happy
you
birthday,
too.
Terry.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
love you too. Okay, we'd love to see you. Okay, celebrate together with you.
I'm going to stay
Okay,
safe,
take
sweetie.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.